Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's an honor to stand here today as a worker, someone who came out of the construction field, a member of the Labourers Union, Local 625, Health and Safety Director, trainer, to stand to remember workers in this country, and indeed across the world, that have died due to injury, illness, while going to work. And each and every year, Mr. Speaker, we stand and deliver the statistics, and they are shocking, and they continue to be shocking. But it strikes me as though they've become actuarially acceptable, that industry, that the numbers of people that go to work each and every day, it's a given that some will fall sick, some will be injured, and indeed some will die. And it begs the question, at what point does this House, this legislature, and across the country, when do we decide that it is completely unacceptable that any person should go to work without knowing that they will come home at the end of the day? And it's particularly interesting that we have representatives from the Cancer Society here today, because I'll remind members of this House that we live in a country that still allows the mining of asbestos, that still allows the export of asbestos, a known carcinogen, and that this happens underneath our noses. In that light, how can we indeed stand firm on our own resolve to change the way our health and safety legislation is enforced and acted on proactively? I don't believe we can do that in a real concerted effort without acknowledging first that we have so much more work to do. Indeed, we know the tragedies that this country has suffered. The Westray mine tragedy, and it is our 20th anniversary of that tragedy, where 26 workers lost their lives. 11 of them are still down in the mine, a kilometer below the earth, in the Ford seam, a seam that was known to be dangerous for decades prior to that explosion. And it's been said, Mr. Speaker, that the most important thing to come up from a mine is the miner. And shouldn't that be the case for every worker in this country, in this province, that the most important thing to come home is the worker, not the paycheck? We have to commit ourselves, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate the comments from my colleagues, the Minister of Labour and the member from Chatham-Kent Essex, and I believe that they're true to their intentions, that we need to do more. But you know, until we see a day where incidences where the young woman who worked in a tanning salon and was told that she had to have a tan, she was told that she had to promote that industry that we know has been causing cancer. We are not doing enough. We will not be doing enough. Young workers, Mr. Speaker, in this province who find themselves more and more in precarious working positions, who aren't afforded the opportunity to have in-depth training, such as I had the opportunity, working in a unionized environment. And I would submit to the Honourable Member, Minister of Labour, that she should commit herself with working with trade unions and affiliates, because they have been carrying the load and progressive health and safety legislation for decades in this province. And they can guide us to where we can make headway in making sure that workplaces are safer, not only for young people, but for everyone in this province. Indeed, everyone has a story of someone they know who's been hurt or injured. One of my colleagues, Takis Escoto, died last year, leaving the construction site, wasn't even active on the site, walking away, ending his day, going home, a young worker who was hit by a piece of heavy machinery. It's unacceptable. There's no reason for that. We have to commit the appropriate levels of funding, the appropriate levels of enforcement, and that is the missing piece. We will, you know, I've heard some indications that the province is doing as much as they can by enhancing some enforcement, but it is not enough. It certainly is not enough, and it certainly doesn't pay tribute to those who have fallen. It doesn't give them the hope that things will get better when it comes to our health and safety legislation. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you and the members of this legislature for giving unanimous consent to this day to honour those who have fallen, but let us commit ourselves to working as hard as we can to bringing those rates down to 0. That is the only acceptable number.
I would like to thank all members